this will bring efficiency to the system, and it's just a matter of, what's the business model going to look like.
You are the Chief Strategy Officer. You need to solve for the here and the now, capturing the opportunity for the here and the now, while also, looking around the corner, both, solving for challenges and also capturing opportunities. So what do you spend your time on these days?
I think my role is really broad, of course, and what I focus on is, one, making sure that the projects and the things that we are building now is getting online to the system. We need to be, as a company, we need to be here now as well. We are now building quite a lot of projects in Sweden. We are doing commissioning as we speak, and it's really much focus for all the company to come together on that, to make sure that the first projects get online and we can actually start making revenues and build a company in that way. But of course also I need to try to look ahead. I need to try to see, what's going to be the future revenue streams, what kind of value, because when we look at flexible projects, it could be batteries, it could be hydro, it could be whatever kind of energy projects that has a flexibility within production and demand. We see that there's a lot of, values that could be created. And of course, that's a lot of the things that I put my time and effort into is, how can we commercialize that value? We need to find ways to, in a contractual way or in a commercial way, put numbers to the value that we actually can create to the system, because we're quite certain that this will bring efficiency to the system, and it's just a matter of, what's the business model going to look like.
So the energy topic is very, very hot on the list, and then everybody is having perspectives on it. What do you see being the biggest challenge for Sweden to solve for, so if we start with our home market?
I think that, Sweden has a really good situation basically on the energy sector. But as all countries in Europe, we want to do a green transition. And to do a green transition, you have to electrify parts or most of the industrial sector, agricultural sector, and also the transport sector. To do that, you need a lot of energy. You need a lot of electricity. So what the main challenges for Sweden and for many other countries in Europe going ahead is how can you supply that electricity in a cost-effective way? I mean, because this is basically, we're talking about industries that will probably have the largest OPEX factor of the future of industries will be electricity. And this is industries that gone through, the transfer, or they want to go for the transformation where they are depending on oil and gas, which is international markets. It's pretty much the same prices everywhere. And then you go into, really local markets, which electricity markets usually is. So the relative competitiveness is going to be based on what kind of price you have for electricity. So of course the challenge for Sweden is going to be, if you look at the forecasts on the future need, how do you produce the double amount of the energy today without increasing the cost too much? Because if the cost increases too much, then the industry won't be here, it will be somewhere else.
Building the value, you are also leveraging Google Cloud Platform. Can you walk us through a bit how you are leveraging Google Cloud Platform?
We're using GCP and a lot of the tool suite that Google has to offer. And for us, doing forecasting, handling data, being able to draw great decisions out of the data that we harvest today, a lot of data from the energy system. We need to be, we think that to be on top of things and to, always be in the front lead of the energy revolution, we need to have, as much data as possible. So one, we're using the infrastructure to collect data, and we're also using it to, and then the other thing is we're doing forecasting. We're doing forecasting on energy markets. We're doing forecasting on, how's the build-out's going to look for infrastructure in Europe. We're doing a lot of this, long and short-term forecasting. Here we find value using Google Tool Suite, basically.
And how do you apply AI in order to make those forecastings as accurate as possible?
Yeah, what we've seen is, today we use a combination of scenario modeling and AI, and that combination today is creating really high amount of value, because we see that the precision is much higher than doing it separately. So we are, on one hand, on the actual trading operations of our assets, we see that this is increasing the total output greatly. We have specific problems that you always have when you do this kind of optimizing models, and combining many of the new tools that get out to the market has made things that for a couple of years ago it was impossible to do. Basically now it's possible, and now we can really harvest that value as much as possible.